Good morning, everybody. Uh, it's Friday and it's 10:30, so it means it's time for another lightning talk from NLT. Thank you for joining us. My name is Gerardo Grise, and the topic that I chose for today is the instant gratification economy, the paradox between resources, quality, and time. So, how it all started? Before the term instant gratification economy was properly defined, the early stages of this dynamic are related to the fast food businesses in blooming economies, and more specifically, in hub cities like New York, London, Tokyo, etc. People needed to spend less time on eating and use this time to be productive. So, what does it mean? Fast food equals more time for work. And which were the implications for this? The implications of this economy meant a change on the distribution of resources. In order to keep a high demand of goods, resources were on higher demand as well. Not only raw material, but specialized trained people to work on production. This way, it's why it became an economy, because of the high need of resources that need to be available at all time, and also the trained personnel to make it possible. So alongside the supply chain, these key elements were very important to keep a high demand. A short time, so all goods need to be ready to be consumed, and high quality. All customers have to be satisfied. So now we know about the elements that build the instant gratification economy. The high demand, high quality, shorter times of delivery, and huge amount of resources. So why this became a paradox? The demand increases, the times shorten, but how about quality? So there are two scenarios. The quality increases, or at least is maintained. So the outcome would be prices go up or production time increases. And we have the other scenario, quality decreases. Prices are maintained, workforce is maintained, no extra resources needed, or the alternative, loss of, the loss of clients and therefore the loss of income. Please leave your thoughts about the implications related to these options on YouTube's chat. I'll be happy to read them and answer your question at the end of this presentation. So, why is this a paradox? As the quality needs to be maintained and the resources are to be controlled in order to keep reasonable prices, the time also needs to be kept on the bottom of this equation. B is time, so it has to be maintained in the lowest possible point. A is the quality, so everyone is satisfied, and C are the resources. But while this formula works for manageable variables, we face the problem of time. No matter how hard we try to keep the time down, time is a constant and it can be stopped. So technology came to save us in this. Technology is the reason why the term instant gratification economy was coined. Communications between consumers and providers made instantly, and delivery was added to the equation. So it's how the instant gratification economy was properly defined as it is known now. So we already know about the food. It started with pizza, hamburgers, and then expanded to every possible kind of food that we may crave for. So it was not enough. So when we had our bellies full and it was not anymore what we needed all along, we started with another kinds of resources. For example, shelter. The hotels were already a concept that worked. So here we add another variable to the equation. When resources were low and service provider needs to keep up with high demand, The next logical step was to include the resources of third parties, for example, Airbnb. So the resources were added by the people that were outside the supply chain. Another example is transportation. For example, we know about that airlines, trains, etc., were an option, but when the demand increased, also the demand for resources increased. So we have the example of Uber, that the service provider is also the resource provider, and everything become coming more and more and more uh, need for satisfy these demands, not only the physical demand of goods, but only sharing our thoughts with friends, giving our opinions online, sharing what we see, and also uh, having an outsourced source of media for us. So how all of these were possible? It became with a great idea, the resources to make it possible, and the dedication of our time. It's really important to emphasize that these applications were not become as an instant solution. It took time to develop them, and all of them are work in progress in order to satisfy the ever-changing demand of our current society. So what's the problem? This is a quote from the New York Times. From Uber to Tinder to Seamless, digital natives are used to getting what they want when they want it. They tend to skip the instructions, putting the burden on businesses to make products foolproof and self-explanatory. So, as provider of technology ourselves, we face everyday challenge to create outstanding content, high quality products, foolproof technology, all within a record time. The sooner, the better. It's paramount to understand that we need time, not only talent to deliver. Rome was not built in a day. But we don't have a problem. As a company that strives for excellence on a daily basis, we don't have a problem. We have the resources, we have the knowledge, and we have whatever it takes to excel on each challenge we face. We just are not wizards. Until proven otherwise, we are not able to control time. So, how satisfied your customers are and how likely they are to recommend you to others can be the difference between success and failure. While happiness is not something you can cram down a customer's throat, you can tip the scales in your favor with the understanding that time is not on your side. Instant gratification is no longer optional. It is required. So, do you have any questions or thoughts? So, we have from Mauricio Avalos. Do you think this phenomena will make it impossible for applications to keep up with user demands, since consumers now are more demanding and can easily switch to the new thing? Well, that's the thing that uh, until a new idea is added, it's very difficult to keep up with the current competition in especially in the IT business, because we can see a lot of examples. For example, with Uber, it was a great idea to begin with, but there were several companies that tried to compete with it and create their own versions. So yes, it's very easy to lose consumers for it, but the thing is we have to think outside the box and create new ideas, because until this happens, then the competition is going to be making upgrades for the things that already exist instead of doing something new. So that's why quality is very important to be maintained. Does anyone have any more questions or thoughts related? Well, thank you very much for listening, and see you all within 2 weeks from now for the next lighting talk. Thank you, everyone.